Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
It is the day that you know it. It is the weekly day that you love it. It is called Roll Call Friday.
Roll Call Friday!
Boys and girls, Tariq Hill is here. I'm here. Farrah's here wearing big hats. We got a lot to get to on the show today. Jeffrey Benson, Circus Sports, will join us in a couple of minutes. Talk about everything happening with March Madness, all the fun stuff happening in downtown Las Vegas. How did the airport go, Dave? How everything okay? We all good?
Almost got a divorce, dropping them off. Right, just getting rid of the bags, saying goodbye, last second goodbyes. I said, do you want to are we getting papers out right now? Just you got enough time. Everybody relax. But you know what traffic does to people.
Oh, yes.
What
time was drop off? Was what, 10:45 drop off? What time was that?
Drop off was we were pretty much on time
for a 1 p.m. flight.
Yeah,
they're fine. They're fine. Yeah.
It's just a lot of chaos over there right now.
Right.
A lot of people zipping in and out. And I begged her to let me drive us down. She said no. She does not like the way I drive.
Oh.
So I sat in the passenger seat, tried to tell her where to go. Boys, listen. When she's driving,
right,
shut the fuck up.
Oh.
That's what you do. Yeah. Shut up. Don't say a word. So learned another lesson today, but hugged and kissed the girls and her goodbye. Me and the dog are going to be like this weekend. And that's it, man. Yeah.
So you guys in the chat, hang on. We'll get to a Roll Call Friday coming up in a little while. But without further ado, right here at the top of the show, kind enough to be a little bit behind here, not one upset his day too much, is the one and the only Jeffrey Benson, Circus Sports, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book.
God,
what is going on, Mr. Benson? How are you on a Friday?
Welcome. Good hat change, Mr. Sharapan. Looking good.
Yeah, we came prepared. This is one of the OG hats. This is from opening day, actually opening day forever. And now you're changing the game every day. Jeffrey Benson, 12. Tom Brady wore 12, and he's a legend. But you have 12 in the Twitter at Jeffrey Benson, 12. A legend in your own right. JB, how was the Super Bowl, my friend? I mean, it's only the biggest book in Vegas with the biggest screens and take the biggest bets. How did things go over there on Sunday last week?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, the game went well for us. We did well to the game. The final score, if it had been a few points less, that probably would have been better for some of the props that we were offering. But, anytime you get a 38-35 score, you're going to see a lot of yeses cash, and you're going to see a lot of overs, come into play. So from the prop perspective, still pretty happy that we won there, won to MVP and things like that. So overall, given the final score of 38-35, was pretty happy with how things ended. From a future book perspective, obviously, we took a pretty big bet on the Chiefs at 10-1 preseason. So from a future book perspective, wasn't the best result, but we were able to mitigate a little bit with the game. And then obviously with the way props and circus squares and the rest of the novelty bets that we offered.
We had on Mike Palm down at the Super Bowl at Media Week, and he kind of told us a little bit about the future book position. Remind the people, Jeffrey, of what you and the boys and everybody did with the number to open up the Super Bowl, because I think, it got kind of, lost a little bit in the shuffle of Super Bowl week. But what was the opening number for Super Bowl Sunday at Circus Sportsbook?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, to preface it before I get into it, you have to openers don't really mean shit in this business.
Thank you.
Matt opened an WNBA All-Star game, total 60 points off, and we had a U.S. integrity alert. So, I mean, when you think about it, openers don't mean a whole lot. And then obviously when you think about the Super Bowl, we were taking 20 dimes on the opener, and, we're taking, $1 million at post. So, you write a few 20 dime bets and you work in, you get started on the price discovery. So, for us, Chris Bennett, who's our director of risk, he does our NFL numbers. His number was Kansas City minus 2.5 and the total of 51. I don't make totals, but my number was Kansas City minus 2.5 as well. I had KC rated the best team all season in football. So, we opened 2.5, we opened 51. When we opened, the market was Philly minus 1 or maybe pick. And the total was like 49.5.
Yep.
And, the market shat on our opener, but in the end of the day, we wrote Philly money pretty quickly.
Yep.
Went to Philly minus 2.5. And we felt good about, what we wrote and where we were and the bets that we saw. And then obviously from a total perspective, we were about 1.5 points higher than market, and they bet us under. So, from that perspective, that worked out pretty well too.
You guys at Circa have taken what has happened in either offices or with people online and taken it to the book. You guys have done the Survivor now. It's grown exponentially. You guys did Circa $1 million now, and that's continued to grow year over year. Now the Squares comes in, something that most people have done in some form or fashion at a party or two, and now brought it to the book experience. How are you guys finding that to be? What's the discovery process with that? And how much success did you guys have with the interest from the public coming in to bet that?
Yeah, I mean, people love the Squares. Obviously for the non-traditional gambler, that's something that as you alluded to, they play at their local Super Bowl party, at their local bar, things like that. So it's certainly something that they're used to, and it's a interesting and novel concept in the fact that they can pick their own squares and not necessarily
have their square picked for them.
Correct. Not necessarily have the dreaded 5-5 if they don't want it or things like that.
5-5.
So, or 2-2 in the first quarter, things like that. So,
4-4 hit though. 4-4 hit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you have, 24-24, 24-14, 14-14, things like that, you'll definitely have some more outs, particularly as you get later into the game, when the scoring increases. But yeah, the overall popularity from the public was great. We've seen the right increase on the Circus Squares, every single year, which has definitely been something that's been great. And I think kind of the funny thing that you see when you're behind the counter is you have a lot of people come up, whether it's bar owners or business owners, and they say, give me $5 on every square in the first quarter. Give me $10 on every single square, on the board, things like that. So, a ticket writer may end up, when all is said and done, writing, 400 square tickets or things like that. So they certainly got, their workout, but, it's really cool to see. I had a guy come in and he bet $100 on every square in the first quarter, gave me, threw me 2 5K orange chips and called it a day.
It's the best. That you just don't know.
It's incredible.
It's a lot of paper. You go through a lot of paper coming out of those machines when you write all those tickets, Jeffrey. But you guys will be all right with the paper. Speaking of paper and looking forward, okay. Talk about what goes into putting up next year's odds, because the ink isn't even dry on the game. Mahomes gets the MVPs, going to Disneyland, and then boom, everything's up for next season. Who's going to be the champ? It's pretty much the teams in the Super Bowl start 1 and 2. Maybe you bump up Buffalo or San Francisco, but they don't even know who the quarterback's going to be in San Francisco. What do you do with it?
I mean, ask the Rams how well that worked out last year.
Not so good. Not so good. Now that you said that, but is there any action on that? People used to ask me that all the time, and I'm going to ask you because there wasn't really that much action on it. There's not football fatigue, but it's okay, I don't want to tie up the money that long. What goes into putting up those numbers, and do you take any bets on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Chris Bennett, who's our director of risk, and he manages both NFL and baseball. He does a great job with it. I mean, you're just trying to think of a number of different scenarios as you go into the offseason. What do teams have in terms of cap space? When you look at somebody like the Raiders, obviously they're getting rid of their quarterback in Derek Carr. So thinking about possible destinations for him, when you look on the NFC side of things, thinking about the Green Bay Packers, kind of it reminds me of a couple of years ago when it looked like Rodgers was going to leave, and then he ended up coming back, and we took a lot of Green Bay money at 25-1 that drove that price all the way down. So kind of trying to be as realistic as possible about where you think these star players are going. Where's DeAndre Hopkins for the Cardinals going? What are some of these cap casualties going to be? I mean, when you look at Tampa Bay, they're 50 plus million over the cap. They don't have a quarterback on their roster. So just trying to put all of these things into play, obviously, in the coming, month, we're going to have the NFL draft and things like that. So trying to see what teams are going to do, whether you think they're going to be tanking, not tanking, whether you think they're going for it, not going for it. Obviously it looks like the Jets, want a veteran quarterback. Obviously they're bringing in Derek Carr for a visit. They may do something. Woody Johnson obviously has an affinity for Aaron Rodgers and things like that. So certainly trying to put your, odds making hat on and try to think about what some of these teams are going to do, and ultimately try to figure out where the public thinks these players are going to go. And that's really the most important thing. If you can, with Twitter and things nowadays, I think people get a hold of rumors and all these different things. And some of these lines can kind of steam. So maybe trying to get ahead of a little bit of that public perception. And, if you can beat somebody, and make them lay 20-1 instead of 25-1, that's certainly going to make your position, a lot more profitable and plus EV come, next year's Super Bowl, when you go into trying to balance things for the book.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, speaking of rumors, by the way, Clayton Kershaw out of the World Baseball Classic. That was just announced. He's not pitching for Team USA. So he's out. Speaking of rumors, so this morning there's a very large rumor about where the Oakland A's might be looking to build a ballpark. The Rio now is the third option here in Las Vegas. Rob Manfred has said publicly that all conversations have been about Vegas, not about Oakland for the A's. You guys were at a hearing for downtown Vegas. Is it safe to say that Circa would prefer a ballpark to be built in downtown Vegas on the event space versus being built either at the Tropicana site or the Rio site, which is obviously by the Strip?
It's a interesting question. I'm going to see Mr. Stevens at lunch, and I'll certainly pose that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when you look at the success the Knights have had, you look at the success the Aces have had, you look at the success the Raiders have had. I think building this town, into a sports town and bringing these professional franchises in, it really just helps gentrify everything. And it really, a rising tide lifts all boats. So whether it's in downtown Las Vegas, whether it's on the Rio site, whether it's, somewhere closer here to, maybe the corner of, 15 and Blue Diamond, things like that. I think just getting a baseball team into Vegas, with the success that the Aviators have had, which is the AAA team for the A's, I think that would just be a boon for the city and something that would be really, really welcomed, citywide.
Speaking of boom for the city, where the Super Bowl is next year, right? It's right here in Las Vegas. And I just saw you go, we're both doing the same. People are already asking me, hey, can I stay at your house? Hey, will you pick me up at the airport? Hold on, everybody, calm down. We'll figure that out.
Well, you just let the wife go. I mean, so you got a couple of free rooms.
I mean, just for this weekend, week.
Okay.
Don't be putting people at my house, Jeffrey. I'm going to bring them down to the Circa and
The
drop them
papers
off.
aren't signed yet.
No, I'm going to drop them off in the second level up there and let them overlook the book. Are you guys talking about and starting to prepare for what's coming already? Has the Super Bowl discussions even started yet? Or is that like now before March Madness? Because you guys do March Madness as good or better than anybody in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, for us, obviously, we'll sit down here in the next couple of weeks, kind of, rehash everything that went into this year's Super Bowl and then figure out, what that looks like for next year, given that, we're going to be the host city. So obviously football's king. This is going to be the first Super Bowl Vegas has hosted. I can't imagine how wild and crazy it's going to be, but it gives me a lot of F1 vibes in the sense that, blocking off, an entire week of hotel rooms, blocking off all the venues, things like that. it has a lot of F1 vibes to me in the sense that this city hasn't seen an F1 race. This
Correct.
city hasn't seen a Super Bowl and things like that.
Correct.
And figuring out what that looks like from a hotel and casino perspective and how you can, yield and utilize your hotel and your different venues to throw parties and do all these different things. It's like I said, it's going to be a great thing for the city and certainly, awesome for all the tourists who come out and see the attractions.
It's funny. We do events better than anybody. We're set up for it. We're designed for it. We can handle any size of any event, but we've never done a regional final. We've never done F1 and we've never done the Super Bowl. In March, what are you guys expecting? Dave mentioned March Madness. We normally have people come just to watch the games. We've got the games here coming up in March. What are you guys expecting from a crowd perspective at Stadium Swim and just at Circa?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this year when you look at Super Bowl, obviously handle in the state was a little bit down. There may be somebody that was over the hill that had something to do with that, but in terms of in terms of handle within the Circa, we were up year over year. So I would anticipate that would lend towards March Madness in terms of seeing our increased growth. Obviously football is always king, but March Madness continues to get bigger and bigger each and every year. And obviously when you think about, T-Mobile and all these different, venues that can host these games, I think just having games in the city and driving people here and kind of mixing the betting with actually watching and going to the games and being a part of that atmosphere is just going to continue to help the right and help the city, overall. And obviously, we've seen the success of the sports teams we have here currently, and I think when you look and you see the events that we have planned for the future, a lot of what the groundwork that those teams have laid, has allowed a lot of these events to become, has come to fruition. So it's great for the city, it's great for gambling, it's great for the hotels and the operators, and like I said, hopefully we can meet the demand that, ultimately comes in March.
Of course. But I mean, talking about events, there's an event going on right now. People are watching. And if you're watching the show, again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow Jeffrey Benson 12 on the Twitter because he's an unbelievable follow talking about the ups and downs of the sports book industry and hills and going up hills and down hills and all those other things. Really well done right there, Jeffrey. But also, you guys are the place to go for golf betting. Tiger Woods is playing. Tiger Woods may actually make the cut. He put up a 2-under yesterday. The best prices in the world, if you're going to bet golf, are right there on the Circa Sports app and at the counters. How's the golf betting been this week with Tiger playing and being close to actually making a cut?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, what he does for the sport, nobody else can say. I was looking at a picture on Twitter, and it was basically showing Tiger teeing off one at Riv, and you could hardly even see grass because there were so many people. And then there was a picture of Phil Mickelson, over in Saudi Arabia playing in the LIV tour, and you couldn't find one spectator. So it really just shows kind of where the game is and ultimately what he brings to it. And obviously one of my favorite traditions in Vegas is, come Masters week to kind of scroll through the odds and see which shop's offering, 6-1 on Tiger to win, win the Masters like it's, 1999 and he's in his prime. So, I may have a tweet or two about that, but when you're looking to bet the Masters, you want to find a book that has the best theoretical hold. And what that means for the average listener is, the lower the theoretical hold, the better odds you're going to get as a better. And there was somebody who was chirping me yesterday on Twitter, which doesn't happen very often if you can actually believe that. But he said he would come down to Circa and bet if we had a 15% theoretical hold. And I said, well, check our Masters book, it's 15% and dropping. So crickets on that response. But it seems like we've gotten plenty of other play in the pool, and Jeff Davis, who runs our golf department, he does a fantastic job, and we'll continue to go lower as we get to the tournament. So golf betting at Circa here is thriving, much like events in Vegas. And yeah, we look forward to continue writing bets, which seems to be the antithesis of most operators in this industry.
Jeffrey, you guys have Bar Canada at the D. You guys have a lot of Canadians. You're Jeffrey, you're Derek Stevens being from almost Canada in in Detroit, in Michigan. What's the hockey betting like right now? Because a lot of people, including myself, are finding quite a bit of success betting on hockey. And I feel like there's more interest right now in betting on hockey. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think it really boils down to how the Knights are doing. Given that we're such a hockey centric city, I saw last year when the Knights didn't make the playoffs and when they were having a little bit of a down year, we saw less hockey betting than we traditionally saw had the Knights been, at the top of the division in the playoffs, fighting for a Stanley Cup championship. So I think that was really the first year we saw maybe a little bit of a decrease in terms of interest, both particularly in the Knights and hockey in general, just because they had a down year. But given that they're having a good year now, definitely seen some increased interest this year. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we've turned into a hockey city, and bettors are certainly flocking to the window, and they love the Knights props and the shots on goal and the player points and things like that. So it's certainly been a fun development. And anytime the Knights are good, that means increased handle for the books and a win-win for everybody involved.
Get Davis on it with the Stanley Cup Exacta, please. We promoted that. We talked about it. We betted ourselves for
We're
the Super
watching.
Bowl. It's a lot of fun. We told everybody, look at circus prices and look at the rest of the world. Anytime now would be good. If you want me to text Jeffrey Davis myself, I will. But let's get to work on that Exacta. Last one for me, because I know you're a busy guy and you probably got to go get on Twitter and fight some battle with somebody or some shit somewhere. What's it like to have a parody account of yourself on Twitter? Because I don't know who this person is, but I cannot believe that you have a parody account on the Twitter space.
My mom didn't really think I'd made it in the industry until I showed her that account, but she's now able to express some good sentiments to her friends that her son has made it in the industry.
That is phenomenal. Jeffrey, thank you for the time, man. Awesome to have you on. We'll do it again very soon, all right?
Thanks, guys.
That is Jeffrey Benson at Jeffrey Benson 12 from Circa Sports, Vegas, Iowa, Colorado. Good stuff with Circa joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book. It is Beffrey Jensen is the fake
Switch
account.
the B and the
Yes.
J.
Yes, that is the parody account. I have had multiple Twitter accounts that have been fake of me over my life. It's fun in the beginning, and then it's really annoying. I will admit. It gets very annoying very fast, because then people start to because I had somebody, I never took at Matt Perrault. So I had somebody who took at Matt Perrault, and they would tweet at people. And so like at Dave Sharapan, I'm assuming it's available.
But the guy's not Matt Perrault.
No,
it's just someone took the name.
Yeah, and then would tweet at my guests on radio and tweet at people that I worked with. And people, I had one coworker come at me once and be like, "What the hell do you say about me on Twitter?" It's like, what are you talking about? At Matt Perrault. I'm like, that's not me. Like, that's not me. It's never been me. 2012 at Sports Talk Matt for 10 years. I've had that handle.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's fun in the beginning, and then it gets to be a little bit. By the way, you jinxed Tiger. You asked the question about Tiger, and he turned around and bogeyed the 6th hole, his back, the front, but his back 9.
Oh.
He's 1 under for the tournament. The cut line is even. He needs to finish strong, but the problem is he birdied 8 yesterday. So if he could birdie 8, that'd be big. He got hot on 16, 17, 18 yesterday. He's
only got 3 holes left?
Yeah, he started on the back.
Oh no.
So he birdied 17 today, he birdied 14 today, but he bogeyed 12 and 13. Now he's bogeyed 6. So he's got 3 holes left, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. They're difficult holes. He needs to at least get pars. He can't drop anything more, because the projected cut line being even, but all the leaders haven't teed off yet. So, I guess not true. Kevin Mitchell has, but yesterday's leaders, Kevin, Max Homa and John Rahm, Matt Kuchar, they've not teed off yet. So a lot of big names still to come, and the line might rise up to -1. So even though it's even right now, Tiger's in right now, but there's no guarantee that he's going to be in if this thing goes to even and or to one under and he drops to even. So, a couple of big holes here for Tiger. I've been chomping at the bit to talk about this today.
Can I before you start? Can I just
Yes.
run off the initial list of names
100%.
for Roll Call Friday, please?
Go crazy.
Because we got a big crowd in here.
Let's
and
go.
We welcome all of you. Thank you, Brigade, doing the job, not just during the show, in the chat, in the Discord, on the email, askthebvb@gmail.com, all this stuff, but just doing these little videos, Mikey, awesome. I can't even believe it. Mr. Holland had his opus. I have me making crazy sounds, especially on Roll Call Friday. Matthew Smith, Chris, a.k.a. PSU Auto, Maiden Focus, the horse guy, Whitrock, Kevin Whitrock, C. Bass, Anthony, Danny Elliott, Shane Tuck, Addison, always here and present, accounted for, sir. JC from KC, Jimmy Jack with 4 Ks, Eron, Sean. Oh my goodness, Sonic. The work the boys doing with the graphics, with the Roll Call Friday graphics, unbelievable work, sir. Unbelievable. Curtis T in the house. Did you see Rainmaker 512 do a video this morning from somewhere and posted it on the Twitter for Roll Call Friday? Love it, Rainmaker.
Pre-show video for him.
Brommel Camp holding it down in Iowa. We're going to get Brommel Camp on the show if Iowa keeps winning. Chris D. We got, who else is here? Andrew Gonzalez, Trent Junk, Kevin Roper, Roginator, holding it down as always. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. I got to get glasses. I got to be too far away. Nate S. Francisco Ochoa. I got to get Francisco that hat. He wants the green model with the gold V. Pretty sharp. Perrault rocks that one all the time. We're going to get you that hat. Let's see. Who else we got? Pierre Chevalier, as always.
We're doing
Eric
hat changes in the first 10. We're doing our own versions of gift now.
Roger Wall.
We're calling him Hift. Hat
Hift?
changes, half change in the first 10.
I got it. Cash it. I tried to do it. Latva, DJ Hooks. He's going to play the music in the background along with Gorov. Let's see. That BetSmart US. Tyler's in as always. That's it right now, boys.
Right.
Landon Higa checking in from Hawaii.
What's up?
How about that? He's here. Oh, Merges just texted me. Our friend John Merges is here. B2 Bar Down. Big Nelly Buckets is here on a Friday. He's probably playing hooky from work. That's all right. Monday, it's an off day. Everybody's off on Monday for President's Day. So start the weekend early. Perrault starts it every Friday at what, 5 o'clock, you said?
PM, yes.
5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, Pacific, wherever you're at. He starts it on Friday. We run the week Monday through Friday. Saturday, that's what we do in the book. That's it right now. Brandon Walton. I'll try to catch the new names as we go by. J. Dow Betts, as always. Mrs. J. Dow Betts. Hopefully he had a good Valentine's Day, him and her. Title shots for everybody. Shane Tuck. B2 Bar Down. I think that's it right now. I'm exhausted.
There's a Sports Grid swear edit. I don't know. Chances are we're going to get to there.
We're never getting off late night.
No, never getting off late night. Speaking of late night, by the way, man, well, I'll hold that. We'll get to that later.
Why?
Because we'll talk about YouTube TV later. Because
holy cow,
it's on the rundown. So it's
lead
cool.
the brigade to victory.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Victoire.
It's actually a pretty cool deal. All right, I can't believe this actually happened.
Yeah. What?
So if you guys watched the first round of Tiger and JT and Rory,
yeah,
these are 3 guys who are very good friends.
Good friends.
They hang out off the course. They play non-competitive golf together. They kibitz and have fun with each other all the time.
I'm gonna guess they probably gamble a little bit on the golf.
100%. I know they do.
Yeah.
So, and I know people who have been around them when they are, and they get going, and they're just normal guys. All right. They are superstar athletes. They are millionaires.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're just guys. Tiger Woods outdrove Justin Thomas on one of their holes yesterday, earlier in the round.
Which he probably doesn't do that much anymore. He probably used to do it all the time.
Right. No, it's a rarity. Tiger was killing the ball yesterday. He was killing the ball today, actually, too.
Right.
Just knocking 325 off the tee. Amazing.
Man. Love that shit.
drilling the ball. So Tiger Woods outdrives Justin Thomas, and to rib him, he grabs a tampon and he walks up close to him and he slowly hands it to him. Just slowly, see, as you hear on the screen, he's just slowly giving, and Justin Thomas is dying laughing. He thinks this is the funniest thing in the world.
It is kind of funny.
This has set off a fucking international crisis with certain people, calling it sexist behavior.
Oh, no.
Calling it misogynistic.
Misogynistic, that's a big word.
And not getting the gag. You have daughters. I have a daughter. I am the son of a feminist. My mother was 18 years old.
Oh, yeah.
At some point, it's just fucking funny. At some point, it's just two guys having a little laugh with each other, and no one's making some big geopolitical statement about women can't do what men do, and if you bled once a month, you wouldn't make that joke. Like, can we just...
Somebody said that?
Yes. Somebody said, hey, if you spent 3 months of the year bleeding, you wouldn't find it funny to joke about tampons.
Oh, my.
And I'm like, you know what, guys?
At
some point, can we just lighten up just a little bit on this? Please. It's just two guys having fun with each other. They're just making a joke. It's just prop comedy. It's funny to certain people. If you don't find it funny, that's your right. But let's not set off the nuclear alarms that this is some monster, awful moment that Tiger's daughter, that Tiger doesn't love his daughter, or Tiger doesn't understand women. It's just two guys on the golf course. Do you understand what some of the things my friends have done on the golf course that if it went public, it's way worse than this. I tell you that. It's just joking around. No one's trying to make people out to be villains here. No one's trying to, I don't understand why you're trying to make Tiger. He had to issue a public statement after the round as to what yes. He had to basically say an apology because it's an international incident that Tiger Woods made a joke to one of his good friends because he outdrove him.
Unbelievable. I mean, let's just welcome in a couple more. B Rubble 44.
What's up?
Chef Benny, I forgot to say hello to Adam Pyatt. If this is not the BVB Brigade, I don't know what is. He just said, meeting canceled, beer cracked, I'm here. Like, let's go! I love it. I just got a check in from Kendall. She's at the airport watching the show. Hi, Kendall. Have a safe flight. Keep mama calm. Mama gets very nervous without
once you get to the gate, though, it's all good.
Once you get to the gate, everybody can calm down. They got more chargers and more things, but I guarantee you know what else they have in their bags? Tampons. We got more tampons in this house.
That's fine.
I need a sponsorship for the tampons. We got more feminine products. I did this all the routine on Cash Considerations. We got wings. We got.
This is not about tampons. This is not. This is just about a good-natured ribbing of just saying, "Hi, Sally." You ever play golf and someone call you a Sally? Hit it, Sally.
Yeah, multiple times. When you leave a putt short.
Yes. All right. It's not making some. I mean, I've heard women say that to other guys. Hit the ball, Sally. It's not some proclamation about that we're downplaying women or keeping them down. At some point, you just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh. It's it's happening on a golf tournament. The PGA Tour, Tiger did this. I think it's hysterically funny.
Listen, Tiger's 47, right?
Yep. 46, yeah.
46. Do you think he's earned the right to kind of just do what he wants and have fun? I mean, this is it.
Right.
He's on the back end. I don't know how many more tournaments he's going to play.
And he doesn't know on top of that. He doesn't know how many more tournaments
But he ain't going to play if he can't be competitive in his mind, right? You said that yesterday.
Right.
He said it at the press conference. He means it. So you're going to give Tiger Woods shit for having fun with the boys out on a golf course? We ain't going to have Tiger Woods on a golf course anymore.
Very soon. Yeah. Amen.
Right? What are we getting so upset for? I don't know if they're trying to make a story for themselves to be the story by getting this outrage and all this other stuff. Calm down.
I mean, on the baseball diamond, there's certain things you say, you rib, you tease, you make fun of. In football, it's just kind of part of sports. that making fun of your friends and your teammates, and I know he's competing against Justin Thomas, but these are his guys. When Tiger Woods first started playing golf, Tiger Woods wouldn't talk to his opponent for the entire round. He got furiously mad if his caddy talked to another caddy during the round. He
Phew,
wanted them to be shut up,
that's icy.
focus,
Oof,
don't talk, no conversation. Just be locked in on only doing one thing.
damn.
And he's even said that it took away some of the opportunity to experience or have joy in the moment. And now he's trying to allow that. This morning, walking through the gallery, Tiger stopped and someone said, "Go get him, Tiger." He said, "Thanks, man." Tiger would never do that. Yesterday, he said, "I didn't acknowledge the gallery enough. I really apologize. You guys came out to watch me and I was really focused. I want to interact more." And so he stopped and talked to a guy. He said, "Thank you very much. I appreciate it." That's not like Tiger would ever do that. He's trying to have fun. Can we not make it into an international crisis because he's making fun of one of his friends?
Just seem overblown. That's
Ugh,
all.
it's just so
I
not.
saw that on the rundown, and I clicked the first headline, and I was like, "Man, I can't even believe we're going to talk about this." Like, people are gonna be mad at Tiger for a lot of things. He did a lot of bad things
Yes,
too.
he
I
did.
mean,
Yeah.
he's come around.
He's
Like
had a
this
rough
is
life in a
this
lot of
is
ways.
you
Yes.
know, he was rough for himself. Like he made it himself rough. Like it
Yes.
wasn't like he was a victim of stuff. He's doing a lot of crazy shit. So
And
now you're gonna do something, and people are gonna look to take him down. When you get up to the top, everybody looks to take you down, and they forget the way up. And who knows what, man? Just let him play golf,
let him have fun. All right.
please.
So I made the switch yesterday.
Yep.
And for those of you guys, I'm not advocating, I'm not getting paid by YouTube TV by any means, but I'm just going to say this. It's really easy to watch Sports Grid. Like really, really easy to watch Sports Grid.
Oh, for sure.
If you get the sports tier, now it's not on the main tier for YouTube TV, but the sports tier gives you all the sports channels. Sports
Right.
Grid is a part of it.
Yep.
It's really easy to tape BVB. It's really easy to watch BVB, really easy to watch Sports Grid and all their programming. And they've got the Sunday ticket. This is going to be a very interesting switch for sports fans. Now, there's definitely going to be an age cutoff as to who's going to be comfortable with this.
Maybe.
But streaming only, I made it 7 years ago when I moved here. I did it for a year. The internet wasn't fully there yet. Now I've made the first switch. I canceled my DirecTV last night, and I'm straight streaming everything. And so far, so good. I'll be very curious to see how many people are going to do this switch and how many people are going to jump onto YouTube TV. Would you consider it?
As long as the boss signs off on it, I have no say of anything that goes on in this house. I don't want any more passwords. I know that if I could get it without a passwords or just automatically populate the password so I don't have to think. I can just put it on and
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I don't
More
know. Maybe.
passwords?
Probably more passwords. Yeah, probably.
Damn it. Hate
But
the
but you
password.
only have one method of watching things. So no more source going back and forth. You're going to stream everything. So like ESPN Plus, which I watch more on my phone than my TVs. Like if you're going to watch Tiger play golf today, the only place to watch Tiger play golf today was on ESPN Plus. So
Right.
they had they called it the featured group. So they had a bunch of streaming and you watch, thousands were watching it today on ESPN Plus, including myself. So yes, you could talk about, am I going to save money in the long run? I don't know. I pay for a million services now. I pay for YouTube TV. I pay for ESPN Plus. I pay for Disney Plus. I pay for, just so like it all adds up. So I'm not really doing it for a money thing.
It's all a la carte now, though.
Yeah,
You're
it's
getting
what I
only the
want.
stuff you want.
Which is beautiful, and I'm still buying things on YouTube TV that I'll never watch. There's still
Right.
channels I'll skip past
Right.
that I'll never pay attention to, but it's far less than what I was paying with DirecTV. And I'll buy the Major League Baseball package and everything else. I bring this up, one, because I made the switch. Two, it's easy to watch BVB live. If you go get YouTube TV with the sports package, it's very easy to watch our show,
Right.
which I want to talk about that. But the Super Bowl is being talked about as going pay-per-view at some point in the future.
Holy shit.
So
Whoa.
Amazon,
You think
Facebook,
that would work?
they're talking. We're talking about these streaming services are all kicking the tires on whether or not the NFL would sell them the Super Bowl, and you'd have to pay to watch the Super Bowl. Would you pay to watch the Super Bowl?
It's a Super Bowl. What else am I going to watch?
That's the point, right?
I mean, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl one way or the other. Like, it's the Super Bowl. I just, how many people will say no?
I don't know. Boomer Esiason said this morning on his show that the congressional committees will never allow it.
Oh, because of the antitrust stuff.
That Congress would come in and crack down on the NFL and say, nope, you're not going to do
Well,
this.
you can do that, but now you can't have that antitrust exemption.
Right.
Like, they'll use that. The political move was, because them having the antitrust exemption is a huge deal for them to be successful as a business.
100%.
So now allowing that would, keep the. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. That's a lawyer question. That's wow.
The NFL's had this antitrust exemption since 1960, since the 60s, early 60s. So we're talking 50 years later. They've enjoyed this. It's blown up.
6 years later. Whew.
But people are going to make this phone call to their congressperson, their representative, their senator, if they can't watch the NFL.
Auntie just came in and said, Auntie with 9 E's behind Westminster Dog Show over Super Bowl if I have to pay to watch the Super Bowl. Full of shit.
I mean, I think people would pay. I mean, it's not like you would pay per view per se. Like you would pay for Amazon Prime and they have the Super Bowl. You'd pay for ESPN Plus. They have the Super Bowl.
So it wouldn't be like a fight. It wouldn't be 99.
No, I mean,
for every place you
they
got.
might make it available like that. They might do that where they say, hey, if you don't want to subscribe to the monthly fee, you can pay for a one-time charge to watch the Super Bowl.
Mm.
And it might be $5. It might be $10. It might be something very reasonable, but we're talking about the number one sporting event, number one television show, period, out there right now. And the NFL might say at some point, advertising dollars, we can make more money charging the audience than we can charging the advertisers. Because we'll still charge the advertisers. Don't get me wrong. We're still going to charge the advertisers.
Oh, my God.
That's still going to happen.
What are they going to charge?
It's a great question.
Ads are so expensive now. What are they going to charge the advertisers?
Well, it would drop, right? The advertising cost.
I don't know.
No, it would because the audience is going to drop. There's no debate that if you put this thing behind a paywall, you're going to see a gigantic drop in number of people watching. So the ad revenue would change. But like we've seen this at the Super Bowl, what did we say? Who had the biggest stages at the Super Bowl?
This past Super Bowl in Phoenix was the books.
It was all the sports books, right?
Yeah.
So that means people aren't spending the same way that they used to. Like Sleep Number was there. We were like, why is Sleep Number here? But there used to be a lot of that going on. We used to see way more celebrities walk around pitching products before COVID than we did after COVID. I can't tell you how many dumb interviews I've done in my career with somebody pitching something during the week of the Super Bowl, some new chip, some new deodorant, some new whatever. Like the Old Spice guy was there, but they weren't there with like 5 people. They were there for 1 or 2 days. And I fist bumped the mascot on the way down the escalator, but like they were there.
Right.
But normally there's like 15 of those going on. And we haven't seen that post-COVID. So clearly, New York, Madison Avenue, LA, Chicago, the big firms are not valuing Media Week and Radio Row and the Super Bowl.
Not like they used to.
Not like they used to, right?
Maybe it doesn't have as much impact, but those Super Bowl commercials are gold. And they charge $1 zillion for those commercials.
They do.
I mean, literally a zillion with a Z, and I don't even know what that means as far as number of zeros behind it, but my goodness. I don't know. That's boy, if the Super Bowl would come and go from regular TV, that's a little come and go reference for all you guys in the Midwest.
There you go.
One of those come and go hats at some point. Thanks, Butchie. Butchie reminded me of the come and go just now. I don't know. Let's just get the Super Bowl to Vegas first, please. We got 359 days till the Super Bowl's here. Traffic's going to be an absolute nightmare.
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be clean by the time they know. I think they're doing all of it now because they know what's coming. They have to get it ready for for November for F1. Like that's going to be the real nastiness. That's the problem.
That is the problem right now.
That's during football season. That's shutting the strip down for a week. Okay. For a week, not just the strip.
Please, I don't want to go down there. Guys,
Not just
if you
the
come
strip.
for that, we're meeting off campus. We're
Not
not
just-
going anywhere close to it.
Not just the strip. The strip, by the way, it's also the roads behind the strip.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's the whole loop, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
the whole entire loop that we're talking about. So it's problematic. So they've got to get the construction done before that because this town's going to be at a standstill for that. I'll be curious for March Madness though. March Madness could be a problem. Regional final coming in. It's going to be
that whole corners.
It's gonna be a mess.
It's that you can't go there. You
Yeah.
have to use alternate routes. Well, alternate routes are streets. Just leaving the airport today was a nightmare.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not fun. All right, so we're into the NBA All-Star break after tonight.
Oh no, clown in B3 just said I jinxed Tiger. He got another bogey. He's back to even going into the last hole right now.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Yep, he's in real trouble.
What's the cut going to be? Even. It might be under par. He's not going to make it if he's even.
Well, the cut line is even par, but if it goes to 1 under, he's in trouble. So he's 2 of the last 3 holes he's bogeyed. Yesterday on the 9th, he parred it, so maybe he can get in with an even and then sweat it out and see where the cut line goes. But as of right now, he's in, but he's in on the number. So if you bet Tiger to miss the cut, you got to feel somewhat okay about it because there's a lot of golfers who have yet to go and play.
Right.
So the line could go to -1, but that's a bummer that he bogeyed. He cannot bogey the next hole. He bogeys the next hole, he's done. He'll miss the weekend. So
keep us posted in the chat, boys.
Yeah.
Please.
If he bogeys 9, Tiger won't play the weekend. That will be a bummer because I look forward to watching him play. So did you see what the NBA announced this morning with how they're doing the draft for the Team Giannis and Team LeBron?
Hold on.
This is unbelievable.
You sent this and I read it and I was like, I might sit back and put the listening glasses on, switch hats back to the Circa hats because it looks good because I ain't going to say much. Go ahead.
The NBA is trying to avoid having the feelings of the last pick in the NBA All-Star draft, having their feelings hurt. So they're going to draft the reserved players first. And then they're going to draft the starters. How the fuck does that work? How do you draft the worst players first and then the best players last? This is like filling out a roster on a game. Like this is like filling out your fantasy football roster out on like DraftKings or something where you're like, okay, I need a kicker. I need a tight end / receiver. I need 2 running backs.
Yeah.
Like this is the dumbest thing I've heard the NBA do in a long time. These guys are millionaires. Every single one of them is a millionaire. Every single one of them is an all-star millionaire who is a 0.00001% of the athletes in the world type of talent. They're worried about their feelings if they get drafted last.
I can guarantee you that there's nobody that's going to be drafted that's is worried about this. It's a weird thing to kind of go, oh, well, we don't want to be. You ever been picked last in a game?
Of course.
Everyone has.
In some game, in some process, yes, absolutely. Some pickup game, some golf game, absolutely.
Everybody's picked last.
I liked it. It pissed me off. Let's go. I'll go prove you wrong. It's motivation to go shut them up.
That's one way of looking at it. That's a good way of looking at it. Who gives a shit?
I can't believe the NBA is this concerned about
it. I saw this. I saw this in the rundown. I said, "Oh, this is Perrault may go off on this, but like this is silly. This is silly. What are we doing?
You're millionaires. No one cares. Like just pick. I mean, don't do this then. If you're worried about if someone's this Charmin soft that they're worried about being picked last, don't do it. Don't do a game. Like you're manufacturing the All-Star game. It's not real. But pick up basketball games, everyone does it. So you're trying to copy the way the game is played, which I like. have team captain LeBron, team captain Giannis, who's now hurt, by the way, and you have them draft and you have them go ahead and build a team and then go play.
Yeah,
Someone's got to be
I don't get
last.
it.
Someone has to be last.
Nobody cares. I guarantee not one guy in there is worried about it. And in fact, if he is, he's going to chirp about it all game. If he's having a good game, he's going to get shit for it if he doesn't have a good game. That's why I picked you last. In a month when those two teams are playing each other, I told you that's why I picked you last and this and that. It'll go back and forth, but that's just
so if you're
tough.
picked by this logic, if you're picked first, that means you're the worst player on the roster, right?
No, you're the best reserve.
What does that mean? How do you even quantify that? You're the best reserve?
Right? I don't know. I would think.
How does it even work?
Well, you're not good enough to be a starter,
Oh,
but you're the best reserve. You're the sixth man. So I think you're picking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? The last guy picked in the reserves is the last guy picked in a draft. I would think, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not even. Are you going to watch this? I don't even watch
Zero.
this.
No interest at
Zero
all.
chance.
The NBA also decided to discipline the referees at the end of the Celtics and Lakers game. Discipline them for missing the call. Can you believe this? They actually came out and said they have disciplined. Adam Silver said Friday in an interview with ESPN, quote, "We don't publicize discipline for officials. We don't think that would be appropriate. But their assignments are affected by the quality of their calls, whether or not they progress into the playoffs, and then round by round is impacted by the accuracy of their calls and their demeanor on the floor. So there's a system for overseeing and making these judgments about officials. But more to your earlier point about getting the calls right, that's, again, not a new issue." I mean, LeBron James literally, this reeks of LeBron James calling up Adam Silver and saying, "I'm not getting these calls. Really? I'm not getting the calls."
You got to do something, man. Like you got to.
Can't let me. I'm a meme now because I was crying on the floor of the Garden. Everyone's making pictures.
He went
of me.
down on two knees and went down. He went. I mean, like I was worried. Like, whoa, did he throw his back out? Is he okay? Is he gonna get up? I mean, calm down.
Like, Adam, you got to back me up now. Like you have to show that my reaction was justified.
It's just strange how you're gonna discipline the official like a week later. It doesn't do anything for the guy that bet him. It does nothing for the team in the league that it costs the game.
Nope.
It's almost like too little, too late. Like, what? Why even put this out? Just tell the guy on the side, I got to fine you. You got to call those fouls when we tell. I mean, that's a foul. Like you missed it.
Yeah, just missed it.
What is the purpose of putting it out in the media?
To placate LeBron.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no, absolutely. This is to placate LeBron. This is to make LeBron feel like, I heard you, LeBron. You went over the top, and you had to have all these things. So we did what you asked.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. That's like you say. That's interesting.
It's LeBron.
Man.
It's why people don't like the guy. It's why there's been this. There's a lot of people who find LeBron to be completely and totally obnoxious. And this is one of the examples of the league doing all these different things to make sure that LeBron, hey, we heard you. We understand. You're upset. You're mad. Okay, we missed the call. We will discipline the referees, Mr. King. Self-proclaimed, self-crowned.
Sean just came up with one of the funniest lines I've ever read in the chat.
Uh-oh.
It's just too good. I can't even. I don't even. It's already gone off my screen. I don't even want to do it justice by saying it wrong. Go back and scroll if you're watching the show live and find the chat. What Sean said. The graphic looks like it's too funny. Oh my god.
Is this the no call when he legit took 3 full steps and no travel was called?
A little further up, I think, from that, Sean. This is from the Dan Lebitard show. Adam Silver looks like the wooden spoon that comes with an Italian ice.
He does. That's great. He does. Put that picture back on the screen, Farrah. Put Silver's picture back on the screen. Look that's awesome. That's so true. That's a great line. Oh, call him Scrape now.
Oh, stop.
His new
The line was good
nickname is
enough. Stop.
Sup, Scrape?
Oh,
Why call him
man.
Scrape? Looks like the wooden spoon for an Italian ice.
I hated those things.
Oh yeah, those sucked. And on Hoodsie cups, they're even more annoying on Hoodsie
Oh.
cups because the Hoodsie cup would flip over. Because I hate that
Oh,
thing when it flipped. It was so you
man.
eat one side and it'd flip. It'd just be so,
God,
so
hated
frustrating.
those things. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
my computer going crazy again. All right, so Giannis got hurt yesterday. Hurt his hand, hurt his wrist
I saw that.
in Chicago. Last
Yeah.
game for the All-Star break. He's playing. Give him props for playing and not sitting out, but he got hit, went to the floor, hurt his wrist. This is doing a whole lot to the skills competition. Most of the markets are off the board at certain books, and the line has moved to Team LeBron -3 for the All-Star game
Yeah.
for this. How big, if he's out a while, how big could this be? Not forget the All-Star game,
Oh,
just for the
big.
season,
It's
mean-
it's big for the second half, or
right?
it's not even a second half. We're at the 3/4 point.
Right.
pretty
Yeah, we're
much
way
now.
past
So we
that.
it's the sprint to the end now.
Yep.
Forget about the the halfway point. I mean, it is what it is for Sunday and
Yeah,
for Saturday night.
right.
It's that doesn't matter. I think I said it yesterday. I still think Boston and Milwaukee are the two best teams in the East, and nobody in the East is beating them in a 7-game series. They're going to play each other in the Eastern Conference Finals at the way it looks right now.
Agreed.
I want to find a team. You can come into my book and bet all the Cleveland you want, the Heat, the Knicks, all that other shit. Good luck. The Washington's looking like they're figuring something out. They're playing really well on the road. Maybe they make some noise. I don't think they're beating either Boston or Milwaukee in a 7-game series. But now this puts believe it or not, this tilts the scale in the Celtics' favor even more now. So
That's why I wore the hat.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It puts even more.
I mean, if we're in the book today and I come in and go, did you see Giannis got hurt? Move the number down on the Celtics. Just move the damn number. Do it. You got to do it.
Yep.
Annoying as hell.
Quick update from a story that we did yesterday on the Bally's regionals going belly up. The Athletic today wrote a really big story talking to Rob Manfred. This is something that people were writing this in the chat yesterday as I was watching the show on Sports Grid. Fair, I put the chat up, and so I missed this, but so many people had already talked about this. Could be a really interesting opportunity, and it does highlight the fact that YouTube TV is in a fight with the MLB Network. But the MLB Network one day, you might forget about the regionals. You may watch all of your teams, your games through an MLB app on your television set through MLB, the MLB channel and MLB.tv, where you can pick and choose. The point is, Major League Baseball is ready to take back the rights for all the games that are given out to the regional sports networks to take them back
Without
and
the
run-
blackouts.
and run it themselves. Yeah. And without the blackouts. He said, I
I'll
hope we
sign
get
up
to
for that right now. We can
Amen.
stop the show.
Yes.
If there's something that is, listen, if there's something that's available right now, and you can tell me I can watch any game I want,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I want, on whatever device I want, I will sign up for it now. I won't even ask what the price is. I'll find out that as I do it.
30 teams available is the dream. He said, quote, I hope we get to the point where on the digital side, when you go to MLB.tv, when you buy whatever the heck you want, you buy the out-of-market package, you buy local games, you buy 2 sets of local games, whatever you want. I mean, that is, to me, the definition of what is going to be the value to be a valuable digital offering going forward. He said, we've taken those preparations about the RSNs going belly up very seriously. We know that we can produce games in the event that Bally's is not broadcasting. We know that we can put those games on in a conjunction with MLB.tv digitally. And we are in the process of trying to work out arrangements that will put us in the position to make those games available within the cable bundle as well. So MLB is going to produce the games themselves. The beautiful thing if MLB.TV does this, they're not a 24/7 network. They're like us, right? We come on the air, we do the show, when we start, when we go off, it doesn't matter. We control the content. MLB.TV does the same thing. When the game starts, whether it be 4 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, whatever time the game starts,
Right.
that's when the game goes live. You don't need to produce this 24-hour cycle that the RSNs have to do because they're on cable networks and they can't go black for 5, 10, 15 hours a day and only have pregame, postgame, and game broadcasts available. This is brilliant. If this is what ends up happening, this is what will be the copy point at some point. The regional sports network business model very well might be dying in front of our eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because those
Wow.
networks all exist for the games, right? Like when you're watching games on your regional sports network, the whole point is to watch the games. All the other stuff is like, there's morning shows, there's, afternoon shows, there's sports talk shows that are on there, but it's not about the reason why they exist. It's for the games. The Red Sox and the Bruins own NESN. Red Sox own 90%. Bruins, I believe, own 10%,
Okay.
but they're there for their games. That's why
Right.
the New England
Okay.
Sports Network was created to distribute the games. So now if you're going to say, hey, if you're a Red Sox fan in California or a Red Sox fan in Boston, you both have the same right to buy the games and you don't have to watch NESN. You don't have to watch that. So you can go ahead and buy it whenever you want. What's the benefit of having NESN? There's not anything keeping you watching those networks.
Wow.
And they can do all the sports gambling advertising that they want and they keep all of it.
Another wrinkle.
They keep all of it. Your
Wow.
official partners of Major League Baseball. One, the value of your purchase went sky high.
Mm-hmm.
But two, you're in there. You're not buying any regional packages. You're not buying local spots. You're just buying national through MLB, and your spots are going
And
into those
it's
games.
live.
Yeah.
You're going to watch the games when the games are on. It's the last thing left.
Yep.
People watch live. They don't fast forward the commercials unless they let the game start and rewind it and watch it and try to catch up, which a lot of people do, and that's a good move.
My daughter asked me yesterday, we're watching a hockey game, and she goes, "Is this live? Can I fast forward this?" It was like, that's the world you live in.
All the time. They ask that all the time. They don't watch nothing live. Like all these people to talk about the powers of these commercials and stuff. I'm like, do you have kids? Like, there ain't nobody watching this stuff. I mean, we do because I
We're
know I
trained to
do,
it,
but
yeah.
like, it has to be popped up into their feed, like, and it not able to skip, for them to see an ad. I went and did a show for AT&T Sportsnet in Pittsburgh last year.
Yep.
I did that baseball gambling show for the Pirates,
Mhm.
and met a lot of great people that would be greatly affected by these things. Like if they don't have regional sports networks, because they do unbelievable work package wise,
Mhm.
stories behind the scenes. There's more to the games. They humanize the players, the front
Yep.
office, the ticket takers. There's so much more to just the games. And I think that's what I'm thinking about right now would be lost.
It would, but I think the average sports fan doesn't care.
This is true. I was just
If
going to say
if
that.
it went away, I mean, I think they like it, but there's so many, like, you would just pivot to put everything online. You would still do those packages, you'd still do those interest stories, but you just put them in different places. And you could still do it. You could build a whole team page for the Pittsburgh Pirates and have all those humanization type of stories being done, those human interest stories, going to someone's, high school, meeting their high school coach, seeing where they came from, seeing how they grew up, what town they
Do you
came
like that
from.
stuff?
I like it depending on the story. Yeah. I mean, it definitely gives you a better perspective as to
I
who the
love that
player
shit.
is.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
the
If it's
stories
done
behind the
right.
stories. Like there's a lot of people talking about this golf thing that's on Netflix and this
Yep.
driving thing that's on Netflix and how they may go that route now. Like there may be they'll like the 24/7s and stuff. They'll do it themselves, right? I don't know if they'll put it on maybe they'll put it on the team sites and stuff, but it'll be interesting to see the distribution for that if they're going to do those things. I just think it makes everybody talks about how the gambling makes the game mean more. I mean, some of these companies are putting it right in their promotion. Make every moment mean more by betting on it. Doesn't have anything to do with the fucking betting. It's sports. It's stories like this. So for some people, it is the betting. It will make it more. But for other people, you spend the summer with your team. You know, you did it in Boston. We did
I
it
still
in
do it.
Pittsburgh
I
growing
still
up.
do it now.
You know, who
It's
they
my
playing
daily
this week?
friend. It's my daily friend. It always
It's
is.
always there
It's
unless
always
it
on.
rains.
Yeah, it's
and then
on either a TV, my phone, a tablet. Like the game's always on in my house, just in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
It's always
the
on.
games really do bring us together. I mean, and like, we just beyond blessed to do shows like this. It's just it's phenomenal. I hope whatever comes out of it, I want to watch all the games when I want to watch them.
Amen.
I mean, we lived here. I've lived here 20 years. I told you when I first moved here from Phoenix, I called them up and said, "Why are all these games blacked out? Sir, you live in a market where 6 teams are blacked out." I said, There's only 30 teams." I said, 6 I can't watch." I got Sportsnet LA or whatever, Fox
Yep.
Sports, whatever it was.
Yep.
So I got to see Vin Scully and listen to Vin Scully for his last few years of doing games. It was
Right.
awesome, but I couldn't see them other teams. And I was like, and they were like, I called the commissioner's office. I said, "I want a 20% discount. 6 out of 30 is 20%.
Sorry.
Take 20% off my bill." They did what you just did. No, sorry.
Yep. No, sorry. Try again. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. $25 a month. Here you go. Here's the bill. And I pay it. And I've paid it every year for years. And I don't care as much as when the Red Sox go to those 6 teams. Like because it blocks out the Major League Baseball package.
Right.
So like my anger, I don't care if you black it out on cable. I'm paying you for MLB.TV. Oh no, you can't watch it on MLB.TV either. Wait a minute. Red Sox are playing. There's 6 teams. They're going to play 40 games, right? That's a fifth of the season. Yep. I can't watch a fifth of the season and I'm paying you $25 a month. Hold on.
It's even less now with the way the thing
Correct.
the
Yeah. Now
schedule is, right? You're going to see less of the games.
Less
'cause
of
they're
those
playing
games.
more of the teams.
it's unbelievable
Ridiculous.
that they do that. So hopefully that does die. I agree with you. Hopefully that does die. All right. Time for the Wager Wire market report. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
With our friends with Wager Wire. Wager Wire empowers you to take control of your action and view your bets as a portfolio of assets that can be bought and sold at any time. Bettors will soon be able to trade their bets through the Wager Wire mobile app and partner sportsbook via apps. Via their integrated technology solution, you can jump in and out of futures all season, cash in on parlays before they bust, and trade games and lines up to the buzzer. Seamlessly sync your favorite sports books to track your real-time value of your bets, stack rewards, and play with celebrities or friends. Interested viewers of BVB should join one of the fastest growing communities in sports betting at WagerWire on Twitter, or go to wagerwire.com. Enter your email for updates and early access to the app when it launches soon. Okay, NHL futures. When are we getting involved, Dave? The Boston Bruins are 5-1. The Colorado Avalanche, for some effed up reason, is 7-1, which I couldn't disagree with more, but fine. The Hurricanes are 7-1. The Maple Leafs, for some stupid reason, are 10-1. No freaking way they're winning the cup. 12-1 Tampa, 14-1 Rangers, Edmonton 15-1, Dallas 15-1, Vegas 15-1, and the Devils 15-1. When are we getting involved?
We got to do the work this weekend. I was on with Irizarry this morning on Better Sports Network. Colorado Avalanche have missed close to 300 games, man games, from injury. And I'm going, okay, so we haven't really seen the full team. Maybe that's why they're still up there.
Okay, sure.
I guess, like, maybe their path, depending on the Pacific side, maybe a little easier. I don't know why they're higher, but we're getting involved. So 2 schools of thought. Which one do you prefer? Get involved before the trade deadline or after the trade deadline? Because the numbers, depending on who moves to who, a couple key pieces, whether it's a goaltender, a goal scorer, or some beast defenseman
Mm-hmm.
will push a team to drop a number and make another team's number higher. The NHL trade deadline's in March. It's still a
Ways
week
away.
and a half, 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks away. You want to go before or after?
Before.
I like it. I do too.
Because I think, one, you could telegraph what a team is going to do. Like if a team has a high potent offense but a bad goaltender, most likely they're going to make a trade for a big goaltender. You can anticipate that. So I think you can potentially get value on a team that might be out there, or a team that might get hot in the second half of the year, or a team that might be selling and you can go ahead and go the other way with them.
Guys, put it in the chat right now. Who's your Western Conference representative in the Stanley Cup final?
How
I'm
about this
seeing-
market? Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm just seeing a couple guys are saying Oilers. Jimmy Jack said Rangers. But
Oilers need to make a trade for a goaltender. If the Oilers make a trade for a goalie, I might be interested. But I mean,
Auntie just came in and said, I just spent 4 minutes at 2 times speed. I'm live now, and you guys are talking so slow.
What? Jesus. Okay. How about this market from FanDuel? So FanDuel will let you bet over 90 points, 90 or more,
Okay.
100 or more,
Okay.
110 or more, or
now you're just
120 more.
Okay. I mean,
They won't let you bet the Bruins. you can't bet the Bruins until you get to the plus 120 point mark.
I mean, come on.
They won't even let you bet the Bruins.
You shouldn't let them bet the Bruins.
120 points or more. That's when you can finally bet the Boston Bruins if you want to get involved with the Boston Bruins. And they are going to do you a little bit of a favor because they're deciding they're going to make it completely outrageous. It's just minus 550 to bet the Bruins over 120 points.
How do they not get over 120 points?
Oh,
They
it's
cancel
so
the rest
fun.
of the season?
It's
I
so
mean,
good. By
what
the
the
way,
hell?
Tiger bogeyed the last hole.
Oh.
He bogeyed 9. He bogeyed 6, 8, and 9. He's outside the cut. Tiger's not playing the weekend. Came down to the final hole, and Tiger will miss the cut.
Somebody said he hit the pin.
Did he?
He hit the pin, and it bounced away, and he made a bogey. Oh no!
So
Oh my!
unless the cut line, unless the afternoon gets very difficult and the cut line goes to +1, the projected cut is even, and Tiger will miss the cut at his own tournament. So that sucks. I can't
Cut
hate
will
that.
move to +1. Trent Young said, "Wow."
All right. Well, if it does, that's enormous.
It does.
And the
Yeah.
PGA Tour might just be like, "What if we just, moved it by a one stroke? What's one stroke? Let's
We'll
move
just
it over."
apologize for it on Monday. Said, "Oh,
Yeah.
we made the cut.
We'll refund the
+1. It
bets.
should have been. You're right. It should have been even. Well,
We'll
that's
just
okay.
refund the
Everybody
bets.
watched over the weekend. I don't know. My
Be huge.
God.
If Tiger makes the cut on the line, it would be monster. Yeah,
Right?
he almost. Oh, that's too bad.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
his putt hit the pin. Ugh, that stinks. So, anyways, the exacted prices will come out when?
They're out on FanDuel right now. They're out. I was looking
They're
last
out on
night.
FanDuel.
Yeah. Stanley Cup.
Exactas.
Yeah. Let's see if I find it exactly because I was trying to figure
Oh
out.
yeah.
what
Oh
the
yeah. There
Boston
they are.
team is.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So at FanDuel, here's where they are. So you can go Bruins Stars is 36-1. That's my favorite bet.
Bruins
to
over
beat-
the Stars.
To beat the Stars. Yes.
If you just want the matchup, you can do. They call it the matchup and then the forecast. So the matchup is just picking the two teams to play in it. So Boston Dallas is 25-1.
Yeah, the forecast is down.
Forecast is below
Down.
that. It
No,
says
it's not up.
Boston to beat Dallas. It's up right now, 36.
No, it says it. It just there's no market for it.
Click the button. Click the Stanley Cup forecast. Click the words on the left. It opens.
Oh,
it
there
up
we go.
below.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. So yeah, it's 25-1. Okay. So
Like
yeah,
they
Bruins
have a
Stars.
Stanley Cup winning conference bet. You can actually bet which conference wins it. Now what? No, don't look. What would be the price of that? Eastern Conference over
minus
Western
250
Conference.
for the East.
Now see how biased you are. I mean, that's ridiculous. What if it's not Boston, Perrault?
Doesn't matter. The three best teams are in the East.
Minus 250. We're gonna get Slammed with Western Conference at that price.
I'd be fine. And I'd be fine with it. I kick my heels up and go ahead. Show me the Western Conference team that's winning the cup. There isn't one in my mind.
Oh,
There isn't one. No, there's
They
not.
got minus 154 plus 130.
Bet it. Eastern Conference to win the cup.
Lay it?
Bet it. Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even. I don't even need to blink. Stanley Cup winner is going to be either Boston, Tampa, Carolina, or maybe New Jersey if things go crazy.
Somehow my earphones are still working. You did not say the Rangers?
Rangers aren't winning the cup.
February
Rangers
17th, 12
price
p.m.
It's 14-1. I don't believe in the Rangers. I don't believe in the Rangers at all. I just don't.
Shit. Now what have you done?
Bring them on. Bing bong bullshit. Goodbye.
Oh,
It ain't happening. Sorry. I like the Devils way more than I like the Rangers. Way more.
what? With the goal?
Way more.
And stuff?
Way
What?
more. Way more. Yeah.
Oh,
I like the Devils way more. They win on the road. They're hyper competitive. They're young. They're hungry. They're winning even when they're banged up.
How'd they do last night against St. Louis on the road?
What was the final score of that game? Was the over? I missed the over. I should have gotten to the over. It was 4-2 final.
St. Louis.
Yeah, that's okay.
Who's Kaka?
Not at home. They're not. At home, they're not. St. Louis isn't awful at home. But, I mean, look, there's going to be some regression in the second half of the year. They had 3 losses all year on the road going into that game.
Stars over Bruins is 50-1.
That ain't happening.
Stars can't beat the Bruins?
Not in 7-game series. They can't. No. Bruins make the cup. Bruins are winning it. Bruins got to get the
p.m. February 17th.
Bruins getting to the cup is the bigger problem in my mind. They have a much more difficult time getting to the cup finals than they will winning the cup finals.
Really?
Yes. You're not when you're going to face Bergeron, Krejci, and Marchand. I'm sorry. These guys know how to win the cup. They've already done it. Like they know how to get there, and they are pissed off that they lost it the last time they were there.
Man, oh man.
They all want to win the cup and retire. This is the Bruins goodbye tour. Krejci, maybe not Marchand, but Bergeron, they win the cup, they're walking. Like, that's it. Bye, guys. They're going off and win a duck boat parade of glory.
Roger Long just came in and said, what does the B's and C's parlay to win their titles pay?
Oh, my God, that would be phenomenal. What is that? Let's see. Bruins, Celtics.
Can't even believe I brought that shit up.
It is a 22-1 return. It's not even that long. It's not even that long shot. It's 22-1. It should be like 200-1. That's not even that long of a shot. 22-1 for a Boston Celtics and Boston Bruins championship parlay. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit right there.
Put 100 on that. That's 2,200. You just got
that should be way higher.
And the Bruins one will be first.
That's hard to do, man. That's hard to go ahead and bullseye those two championships from the same city. That is highly unlikely.
Put those two with Bama. I'll give you a sweat for the rest of the year. Or those two with Georgia.
Nah, Georgia's going to have a down year.
How about that?
Yeah.
What?
Big quarterback questions with Georgia.
Oh.
Where is college football? Can we football?
Oh.
The college football is not up. Oh, there's no college football futures up. Huh. Okay.
What are we waiting for, boys? You guys are watching the show.
Spring game.
Stop with the spring game stuff.
No, injuries. They're worried about having the spring game get played, make sure everyone's healthy, then they'll put it up. They'll wait to see how everyone goes into the
They're
offseason.
all on vacation. That's the problem. Everybody that does the numbers, they're on vacation this week. They're like, we'll put the college football up when we come back. End of February. That's what we used to tell people. Just wait.
So there you go. So there's your if you add in, I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be, Alabama will be, I don't know, minus 150 to win it all. Minus 125.
You gotta stop.
What's Bama gonna be, do you think?
It's
plus money
up.
Where? Not FanDuel, it's not.
It's right here. FanDuel, NCAA football futures, Georgia 2-1, Bama plus 550.
Woo!
Ohio State Bama plus 750. Michigan 10-1. USC 16-1. LSU. Butchie. LSU 18-1. Deuces.
Oh, there it is.
Go.
So Bama gives you a 14,000 plus 14,720. So, 150 to 1.
If you add Bama to that parlay.
Yep.
Whoa.
Bruins, Celtics, Alabama is
Your whole worlds collide. 1 year we have a show called Bostonian versus the book.
Hold on. Let's be really crazy. And let's just go ahead for the hell of it. Just, watch my worlds colliding. Throw Creighton in there, and it's a 3,000 plus 3,900 to 1. For 3,850 to 1. Throw Creighton in there.
Don't. Because then the whole thing will die in March.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you bet $5 to win 19,000
on the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Bama winning the national championship,
and Creighton.
Take Creighton out.
This thing. Well, talk about my world colliding. That's $5 to win 736. So, what a C note on it? It's $14,000. $14,720.
$1,700. And I mean, like the MasterCard commercials, they say this costs this costs this, then this is priceless. Having to listen to your shit all of college football season after the Bruins win the cup, that's bad enough. The Celtics win the NBA Finals, horrific for people that love to hate the Boston. We got to root for Bama all fucking season.
I am
14,000. I'll bring the bag. We'll get E and Farrah to come and film you picking up the bag. Oh my God.
But it's still dumb though. If you take Bama out of it, $100 wins 2,100 for a Bruins and Celtics parlay. That should be way higher.
That should pay more. But listen,
should be way higher.
You just said that if Boston gets to the final Stanley Cup, they're winning.
Yeah, but not the Celtics, though. I don't feel that way about the Celtics. I feel that way about the Bruins. Celtics team has never won it. They got to learn, man. They got to learn how to win a championship. They got to the finals last year. They haven't won it yet.
Look at these guys. The chat is going nuts right now. They're actually putting this in. The B's and C's parlay, Konowinski already has it. Pays 24 to 1. DGN 4TW said he got 196 to 1 on.
Oh, I love that.
On Bavard, Celtics, Bruins, and Bama. CBB for the BVB.
If you bet, how about
Celtics,
this?
Bruins, and Bama.
How about Celtics, Bruins, Bama basketball, not football?
Oh, stop the nonsense.
That is
God.
That is $100 to win 21,000. That I like. That's a bet I can get behind.
God. What?
Yeah. I can get behind that parlay. Bruins, Celtics.
Benny has the B's and C's championship parlay 30 to 1 from January.
Yeah, of course he does.
What the hell's going on here?
Well, I mean, he's the master of the B's and C's daily parlay, so why wouldn't he do a B's and C's season long parlay? That makes total sense.
Brandon Walton called it the title shots parlay, brought to you by the BVB.
That's phenomenal.
Bam!
Thank you to WagerWire. We appreciate it, guys. Good stuff there. Jumping in with us on that. Okay, let's roll through a couple of these games. Speaking of the Bruins, you got this stat. Boston is 26-0-3 when they score first. They win 5-0 last night at Nashville.
Ridiculous.
How is that even possible? 26-0-3 when they score first. They've never lost in regulation when they score first.
I was watching SportsCenter and Neil was interviewing Barry Melrose, and they popped that stat up. And I sent him a text and said, "Was that right?" I said, "I got to talk about that with Perrault tomorrow." It's like, "Is that right?" He's like, "Yeah, it's right." Just it's fun texting him while he's on TV back and forth. Every once in a while, he'll hit me with something. But I saw it and stopped, and I was like, "Okay, where's the weakness?" Like, they get a lead, they don't lose it.
No, their weakness
back when they're down.
Their weakness is they have two unproven goaltenders in big moments. Allmark and Swayman haven't done it. That's it. Everything else, they might look to get a goal-scoring defenseman at the trade deadline. They might. They might look to get a third or fourth string center for a first
Depth.
line
Depth.
center.
That's it. Depth.
That's it. But their top two lines, you're not touching,
No.
and they don't need help on the power play. They don't need
Nope.
help on the power play kill.
Nope.
And maybe you get a depth goaltender, but I mean, Swayman and Allmark have been tremendous. It's just, I mean, it's funny. Everyone is looking to poke holes in the Bruins right now. They're the new punching bag.
I mean, again, being this dominant doesn't make sense. Not in today's sports.
Yeah, but they're not the only ones being dominant, though. Carolina, very quietly, has 80 points. And they're 18-6-2 at home. They're 18-4-6 on the road. They're
Great on the
9-1. They're 9-1 straight up over the last 10 games, and they have a plus 38 goals differential. I mean, the Devils are right behind them.
Absolute war, that would be. An absolute war, Carolina
Bruins
against Bruins.
Oh my. Yeah,
An
they could beat 'em.
absolute
Hurricanes could beat the Bruins. Yes. They could beat them.
I'll clip that 12:44 on Friday.
That's what I mean. The Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be more difficult for the Bruins than it will be playing in the Cup finals. Whoever they play in the West, I'm not worried about.
But the path that you have to take and the wear and tear that it takes out of a team is worth something.
It
is
is.
going to be, I mean, that's going to be a war. The series before could be a war if they catch a team that's like, just going to physically try to. I think the only way you can really slow the Bruins down is you got to really get chippy and muck up the game.
Yeah,
right
look,
now. I don't think
Colorado
there's any other
obviously
way.
has the pedigree, right? But they're so banged up. They're such an unknown. I'm not worried about Colorado. Obviously, McKinnon's incredible, but I'm not worried about Colorado. Winnipeg is, okay. Dallas is definitely formidable,
Right.
but Vegas is Seattle is and the Kings are
Right.
There isn't a team there that jumps off. You're like, holy crap, they're really good. In the East, Bruins, Tampa, Carolina, New Jersey. I mean, these are four teams that I could easily
Right.
see win the Cup. They've
Yeah.
got the pieces, they got the talent to do it. I just think the Eastern Conference, it's so heavily shifted in my mind to an Eastern Conference championship than it is a Western Conference team to win it.
Let's run through these games real quick. We got about 10
Okay.
minutes left.
Rangers, Oilers tonight. Some books have just said, screw it, go to 7 tonight.
Why
here
not?
in this one.
Should have started at 7.
It was minus 135 and minus 140 last night, 6.5 over. And I just was like, I'm not laying that juice. I'll just wait for it to go to 7. I'll bet it 7.
Yeah.
This game's going to go over.
Be very surprised if it does not. Very surprised.
And if you probably get a push out of it, could be a 4-3 final. On the complete opposite side, you have
You
the
like
Stars
side
in
in that Rangers game?
I would lean towards Edmonton, but
Coin flip. Complete coin flip.
I'm not.
Yep.
I'm not like in love with saying that. I've not bet it. I don't really know.
Right.
Stars in the Wild, though, totals 5.5 in this game.
Right.
Stars are road favorites. Under?
Under. Yes. And again, I just can't quit Dallas. I like the way they play, and this is the
Lost 2 in a row.
game for them to
It's a bounce back spot.
Yeah, it's a perfect game for them to win.
They have won the last 2 games against the Wild 4-1. They lost the first game 6-5, but that was back in December.
Yeah.
So it feels like an under game to me.
Yeah.
But the Wild, they're 10 points behind the Stars. They need to start winning some of these games.
It's coming down to the end. You got to get teams got to get going. You got to win those games in regulation too. Those leaving it to a shootout is not good right now.
So college basketball tomorrow, there are a couple of really big games. Now, these lines are projected lines and or not U.S. lines right now. Not every book has got these things up, but these lines should be pretty accurate. Baylor at Kansas. Minus 4.5
game there, son.
Game of the night, game of the day. It's a huge game.
What time is that game?
Oh,
Gotta make time to watch that bad boy.
Baylor at Kansas tomorrow is a come on, internet. It is it's a night game. It's a late game. I like it. That's good. It's a day game. 1 p.m. our time, 4 p.m. Eastern time start.
Okay. Nice. What's the line? Kansas
4.5.
Baylor live?
I like Baylor.
Baylor live.
Uh-huh. I like Baylor.
Although this winning on the road stuff is really difficult, but
I don't know if
Baylor
they win
live.
on the road. Yeah, I don't know if they win the game outright.
Right.
But you look at Baylor and what Baylor has done, one against Kansas, but also just on the road. They're 4-1 over their last 5 games, 7-2-1 over the last 10. Baylor is 8-4-1 ATS in the Big 12. This is the first time these two teams have played. This is, arguably going to be for the Big 12 regular season championship.
Okay.
Winner of this game will have a
Inside
leg
track
up.
to win the Big 12.
Yeah, coming down. They're both 9-4 in conference. Texas is 9-4 as well, and that's the next game. Oklahoma at Texas. Oklahoma is not horrible. I guess they are. They're 3-10 in the Big 12, but they've had some big wins. They've had some big wins lately, though.
At home.
And so you get Texas 9-4. This number is light. It's 9.5.
Yeah,
it'd be higher.
8.5, 9, just off the top of my head.
It's 9.5.
Try to get that dog money early. Texas blowout.
You like this Texas?
I do. I got people telling me that Texas is maybe better than some people think. Just keep an eye on them. So
no, I mean they're going into the year. They were a top 5 team. They were phenomenal, but then Chris Beard got blown out. So when Chris Beard got fired, everybody went, "Oh boy!"
Yeah.
But how much is coaching? How much is needed? Maybe they have the talent to overcome. You lay this 9.5?
I wouldn't take it. I mean, I think under 10 is something to consider. What's that say? Ranked road teams versus ranked teams, 10-28 record.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow.
ATS,
Thank
not
you,
straight
Timmy.
up.
Timmy Oland.
That's ATS though, right? That's not straight up.
I would assume so.
Yeah, that's wild. Tennessee laying 3 at Kentucky in the SEC after the Volunteers.
Just want to watch this one. I honestly don't know. I don't know because Kentucky went on the road and beat Mississippi State last game as a dog.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come dogs again. Is this Kentucky getting it together, or does Tennessee just take that Alabama win and go? Because a lot of times you see the dip down.
Right. Well, on the road, I mean, Tennessee. Well, that was the first game in 5 games that the Volunteers had covered. So a letdown spot. I think I would lean towards Kentucky here.
Right.
To take Kentucky and take the home dog, take the 3 points at home for Kentucky. They're 7-8 at home, 7-6 in the SEC. It's a tough game to bet.
Yep.
It's a big game in the SEC, but it's a tough game to bet for sure. The SEC is going to be, that tournament's going to be absolutely awesome to watch and to bet. Cannot wait. Bama's 12-1, A&M's 11-2. Tennessee's 9-4, Kentucky's 8-5, Auburn's 8-5. So we'll see how that plays out. And then Illinois at Indiana. Indiana's laying 5.5 points here in this one.
Sworn off the Big Ten.
Really? I like Indiana. They're fun to bet on.
I'll keep an eye on it, but it's the whole conference is a complete disappointment. I don't even know what the hell Purdue is. I mean, my God,
that's true. Lost again last night.
Like, not even competitive. They took me out in game. I thought I was stealing, taking 10.5. They didn't even cover that. I was like, this is.
Do you see what Gonzaga did last night? Or Gonzaga, excuse me.
Yeah, because Gabe and Cam were telling me Loyola was going to be live to win the game, and
that was a 43-point loss for Loyola.
Yeah, not so good, huh?
Not so live.
Not the best.
Down 40 at the first half and lose by 43 on the game.
Damn it.
Whoops.
Yep.
This is interesting because Indiana at home is 10-4 ATS this year.
Pretty good.
They're really good. Illinois is 6-5 on the road, but I like Indiana to win and cover. I like Indiana to make noise in March.
Really?
Yeah, I like Indiana a lot. I'm a fan of Indiana.
Still on the hunt for those candy striped pants. I'm going to find one pair.
Those are absolutely phenomenal. We got a couple of minutes here. We can squeeze in a few of the better to book it before we let go of sports grid.
Yeah, let's do it. Better to book it. Come on, let's go.
My weekly parlay is a gift and no gift parlay.
Okay.
We're going the gift, yes, Kings and the Ducks.
Yes.
We're going the gift, no goal in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
Dallas, Minnesota.
Okay.
Pittsburgh and the Islanders.
Oh, I'm worried about that one.
Whenever you're worried about it, I like it because it hits. When you're not worried about it, I get more concerned on the gifts.
So you're going to hit this 3-teamer?
3-team plus 642 parlay. Islanders just 2 times in the last 10 they've had a gift scored. They are by far the worst team in all of hockey. Only 35% of the time have the Islanders had a gift on them or scored by them. Pittsburgh has been pretty good. They're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. They're 8-2 to a goal in the first 10 minutes over the last 10, 64%. But I think when the Islanders are up, I just need both teams to play defense. Just don't play defense. Just play defense. Dallas and Minnesota is bank on the Islanders, don't score, and then don't let Pittsburgh score.
Yeah, worried about that. I would book this one. I mean, good luck. I hope you win.
Of course you book it. It's a 3-leg gift parlay. Of course you're going to book it.
Absolutely.
You book this
No
every time.
surprise there.
Yes, no surprise there.
Yes.
I am going full unit on under 1.5 goals in the first period for Minnesota and Dallas at minus 118.
I like this. Although 1-1 beats us.
Correct. But
Beat us the other night.
for the Stars. But
Right.
for first period under 6 straight games for Minnesota, 6 straight times that it's gone 1-0 or less. Marc-Andre Fleury has been very good in the first period lately, and Minnesota is the worst team to an over in the first period in the NHL. They're 9-1 to the under over the last 10 games, and just 38% of the time, 21 times in 54 games, we've seen a 1.5 goal over bet cash involving the Wild.
Sweat it, but we'll bet it.
It's going to be a 1-0 final. We'll see who scores the one on that. And then finally, I'm going over 6.5 goals, Kings and the Ducks.
Bet it. What's the price?
Tonight.
125?
Minus 125. Yeah.
Let's see where that one's moving.
Hasn't moved, which is kind of surprising.
Nobody's betting it. Nobody's going to this game. We can drive and get good seats. 6.5 over minus 15. One place is over 20. Get it now, boys and girls. Whoever's watching, bet this over. Well, you laid the quarter last night. Is that right?
It was at Circa, but yeah, I laid minus 125 at Circa last night.
Yeah, they went and got that under money. That's good.
Good luck with that because it's Gibson in net. Gibson has a 4.11 goals against average on the road.
Right.
So
Awesome.
enjoy that. Yeah. So he's not exactly good at home rather. Sorry, at home. 4.11 goals against. Not good. Sports Grid, thank you so much, everybody. Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll be back coming up on Monday for you guys on YouTube and Twitter. Favorite thing about today comes up next year on BVB. Favorite thing about today is what?
The amount of work that goes into a trip when you have multiple people going on the trip is highly underappreciated. And when they're all women, it's unbelievable because they have bags for bags. They have things that do you have the stuff to take for this? Do you have this? They were coordinating outfits last night. I'm like, you're going for 3 days. You know you're coming back, right? Like, are you coming back? Because why are you taking all this stuff? Like, and then add the weather into the mix. Like, they're going to a place that's very cold, and it's going to be cold. And
very cold.
They don't know what that cold is like. The kids don't.
No.
And the wife pretends, I mean, she keeps it cold when we sleep in his house. It was 64 when I woke up this morning.
Oh, my.
She got to the thermostat first, and I said, "What's the number?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it." I said, "Is it 65 or under?" And she's like, maybe get up out of the bed and look myself. I said, 64. You're not human right now. I don't know which Eskimo likes sleeping, but I'm telling you, I've been sleeping good. 64. Freezing, sir. Freezing. But we got up, we got them off to the airport. I just got the text right now. They're boarding the plane, so I'll be interested to see what they think of Omaha. You're gonna have to give me one good place to eat that I can surprise them with and go from there. But I did this last time, and Mikey Awesome cut it and clipped it. So I'm gonna try to get a song every once in a while to just read some lyrics. Now, this isn't as good as Luda, but 32 years ago today, the number one song on the Billboard charts was Gonna Make You Sweat by CNC Music Factory, which is just a jam. And it came up from my guy, Old School, who I don't know and have never met, but we follow each other on Twitter now and we DM, which is one of the coolest things about social media. You can reach out to people all over the world who are doing something you may like. Reach out with a DM and tell them, and then you do this other stuff. So I posted a video this morning and have been dancing since. But it was just one of those things that, like, on Roll Call Friday, I said, we're gonna do stuff like this. So pause, take a breath, and go for yours. On my command, now hit the dance floor. It's gonna make you sweat till you bleed. Is that dope enough? Indeed. I paid the price to control the dice. I'm more precise, to the point I'm nice. The music takes control, your heart and soul. Unfold, your body is free in a whole. Dance till you can't dance, till you can't dance, till you can't dance no more. Get on the floor and get raw, and then come back and upside down. Easy now. Let me see you. Let me see you. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that song. I love this show. I love the brigade. That's the best thing about today.
My favorite thing about today is this T-shirt that I'm wearing.
Ooh,
that got sent to me. Madeline's favorite charity is St. Jude's.
Excellent.
And so St. Jude's, I'm doing a fundraiser for St. Jude's. I'm doing 100 push-ups a day for 28 days, so 2,800 push-ups for the month of February. Went ahead and opened up, did not know they were sending this. I went ahead and opened up the mailbox last night and was like, oh, they sent me a T-shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So if anybody is looking to do cool fundraisers, they're doing another one in March. They're doing a bunch of cool stuff. They're obviously funded entirely by donations and people who raise money for them. And if you've ever, I've been to St. Jude's and I've done stuff with St. Jude's for years, given my time in Alabama, and it will break your heart when you see the families and see the children who are being, and they don't pay a thing. They show up, they don't pay anything. And so it's, Ron McDonald House is that's a big one for what they did for me in Madeline, but St. Jude's also is a huge one that whenever I have a chance to do that. So I want to say thank you to St. Jude's. And if you have a chance to go ahead and make donations, or you have a chance to do fundraisers for St. Jude's, I cannot recommend to do it more because it's a phenomenal, phenomenal cause. Folks, we're back on Monday. We'll have a lot to get into. You
President's
guys will be
Day,
off.
we're doing a show.
We're working. Yep.
There's people that aren't working. If they're not working, they should be watching. Tell them all to get in the chat. Watch the show live.
Live. It should be a big Monday show. Looking forward to it for sure. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Stay safe this weekend. We got a ton of people here in town. Oh, that hat is unbelievable.
He's got the big noggin.
And it's a one Vegas one on top of that. So it's unbelievable. On that note, he's Perrault with the noggin. Dave, Matt, Monday. Talk to you then for BVB.
Bye-bye, y'all.